Good day to all of us. I'm Ray Jadensi Fabro, and I will show you what are the indigenous houses in the Philippines. First, it is Bahay Kubo. What is Bahay Kubo? Bahay Kubo, it is also known as Payag or Kamali in other languages of the Philippines. Bahay Kubo was designed to endure the typical tropical climate of the country. The term nipahat, introduced during the Philippines-American colonial era, refers to the nipa or anahaw, thatching material often used for the roofs. Its architectural principles gave way to many of people traditional houses and buildings that rose after the pre-colonial era. There's even a popular song about it. It's bahay, it is bahay, kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon ay sari-sari, and so on and so forth. The song is about a bahay kubo, a house made of bamboo with a roof of nipa leaves surrounded by different kinds of vegetables, which was usually sung by Filipino school children and as familiar as the alphabet song and twinkle. An average bahay kubo or nipa hut can last for 20 years. And there is the materials of bahay kubo. From the roof, it is a nipa and anahaw. For the walls, it's sawali and bamboo. For the post on the bottom, it's wood and bamboo. And there is a 5 facts about Bahay Kubo. First, Bahay Kubo as a catalyst for Filipino bayanihan. Pre-colonial Bahay Kubos were never cemented on the ground. Because of this, many Filipinos are able to move from one place to another depending on their choice or needs. Bayanihan is a Filipino tradition that refers to the spirit of communal unity, work, and cooperation of the community to achieve a specific goal. Its concept can be traced back to the Filipino tradition, where the town folks, especially men, lend a hand carry the entire house of a family who wants to move into a new area. Second, it has 2 major variations: pre-colonial and colonial bahay kubo. The construction of bahay kubo depends on the era they came from. They are usually categorized into 2. The pre-colonial bahay kubo, which features simple interiors made of native materials like nipa, bamboo, and coconut leaves. And when the Spaniards came to the Philippines, they infused materials like stones, bricks, tiles, and mortar into what is often called the colonial bahay kubo. The pre-colonial means before we are occupied, or in Tagalog, bago tayo sinakop. Colonial means we are occupied, or in Tagalog, tayo ay nasakop na ng mga Espanyol. Third facts of bahay kubo. The term bahay kubo means country house. In English, the term bahay kubo roughly means country house. It was derived from the terms bahay or house and kubo, hut or one-room country hut. Fourth, it usually features a 3-layered structure. There are 3 areas in the bahay kubo: the bubong, silid or living space, and the silong, space underneath. The traditional roof of the bahay kubo is made of long sleeves stuck together to form a sharp edges. The living space, on the other hand, is designed to let in as much fresh air and natural light as possible. Meanwhile, the space underneath is preventive measure against natural calamities like floods and mud. It is also an area where homeowners can store food, objects, and even farm animals. And the fifth facts of Bahay Kubo. It has been an architectural inspiration to many. The Bahay Kubo has inspired by many architects like Francisco Manyosa, the man behind the design of the Coconut Palace. According to Manyosa, the traditional Filipino houses are designed to ward off the heat from the harsh summer, something he wanted to incorporate with his work. The next is Torogan. Torogan is a traditional ancestral house built by the Maranao people of Lanao, Mindanao, Philippines for the nobility. A Torogan was a symbol of high social status. Such a residence was once a home to a sultan or datu in the Maranao community. A Torogan, which literally translates as a place of sleeping. Like in Ilocano, the Torogan is sleeping place. What is the function of Torogan? Apart from housing the Sultan and his family members, the Torogan also function as venue for community affairs, planning, and decision making, thus making it a symbol of rank, status, and influence of its owner. It is elevated above the ground by columns cut from trees of huge girth. Its walls are covered with plywood sticks, and the roof thatched with dried coconut leaves. There is no interior partition, so it appears as a huge hall. The Torogan is made of hardwoods with posts made up of whole tree trunks. Are known for intricately carved panolong or beam ends with okir designs. So what is this panolong? The panolong is a house ornament fashioned by the Maranao people. It is a carved beam that protrudes in the front of the house and is styled with okir motif. The shape of panolong is an architectural translation of a pro, meaning the protruding part in the front of a ship. The most noticeable feature that Torogan is the panolong, wing-like house beam with the pakorabo or fern or naga serpent motif. These are end of the floor beams that project and display out like triangular butterfly wings on the facade and side elevation. So, when was Torogan invented? Torogan invented first in the Dayawan Torogan in Marawi of the late Sultan Conti, originally built around the 740s. It stood witness to the various episodes of battles in Lanao. The National Historical Commission of the Philippines lists it as a National Historical Landmark. So, do you want to see the different parts of Torogan? Each part of Torogan is like a puzzle piece. Without any one of them, the Torogan wouldn't be complete. So first, supporting the Torogan are 25 massive posts or tokod, which are carved from whole tree trunks or hardwood trees such as nara, mahogany, and magpuno or ironwood. They are laid out equally and are supported by interconnected tie beams. Several lantaka or small brass cannons may be tied to some tokod. Underneath each tokod are 6 or 7 carefully selected wato or large stones, which serve as the Torogan's foundation. Half buried into the ground, they support the entire structure and act as shock absorber for tremors and earthquakes as well as strong winds. The underfloor space of the Torogan created by the Tokod, the Tibin, is called Dorung. The Dorung serves several purposes such as living quarters for the Sultan or the Daki servants. The second floor of the Torogan is called Poro, a partitionless living space for the Sultan or Dato and his family. It is the venue of various activities such as cooking, eating, and meetings with members of the community or with guests. Chests are used to create divisions of the living space including the sleeping areas. The Poro is the Poro is distinguished by the wooden staircase of or towak. The towak's stringers are also carved with ochre motifs while its railings or barandillas remain plain. The poro has a floor or lantay made from heavy wooden planks which are supported by wooden floor joists or dolog. The most distinctive feature of the Torogan are its 7 to 8 intricately carved panolong. That is what we call end beams. 5 to 6 panolongs carved with the naga okir or serpent motif decorate the frontage of the Torogan, while 2 panolong carved with the pako okir or fern motif decorate its sides. The okir motifs showed abstraction of forms of nature such as the scroll, circle, leaf, vine, and wave, and bud or flower presented by symmetrically and in repetitive manner. The walls are made with the wall stud called tartek. The tartek from the wall frame, which comprise of lumber pieces nailed to the post holding the walling. The wooden ding and ding or wall planks are nailed to the tartek. The Torogan has sliding windows called rowasan. Its surface can also be carved with ochre. It also be made of bamboo. The Torogan's door called paitaw is made from wood or ornamented with ochre carvings. The rampatan or roof beams are main support of the roofing materials. The carved center roof beam or tinay, tinay awalay represent the house's intestine. The pulaos bungan are the 3 king posts, which are ends and mid-spans of the rampatan. They, are, they also support the apex of the gabo. Early Torogans had roof or atub made of cogon grass and bamboo. Later, the roofing materials were changed into wooden planks. The American regime ushered in the use of galvanized iron sheets which can still be seen in existing Torogans. Okay, let's go to bahay na bato. What is bahay na bato? Bahay na bato, literally house of stone, is a type of building originating during the Philippines Spanish colonial period. Since 18th century until World War II, Bahay na Bato was considered as an ideal Filipino shelter. Bahay na Bato, hence a traditional, would have large wooden doors called entrada, principal to let carwajes enter the zaguan. At ground level, there usually is the patio or terrace, patio or terrace, with flooring of piedra china or Chinese granite, and a pattern hand-painted tiles imported from Spain called azulejo. The patio is used as garden and serve to cool the rooms of the house. Usually, the patio is connected to the azotea, an open-air balcony where one can see the aljibe, the water cistern, filled with the rainwater or potable water. So there are parts of Bahay na Bato. This is a two-floor. There is a ground floor and second floor. The ground floor, there has a saguan. The saguan, when wine carriage and saints floats are usually kept, and quadra are the horse stable. And there's more, the entresuelo. Entresuelo is a mezzanine elevated above the ground, usually located on the floor of the master's bedroom, right underneath his bed. And patio are an enclosed courtyard open to the sky and adjacent to Sagwan. And let's go to the second floor. First is the ceremonial stairs. First three steps made of stone concrete, then succeeding steps made of wood. Second, the kaida or kaida is an antesala, an all-purpose room for dining, sewing, and dancing. And the sala also, or the living room. Comedor, the dining room. Kusina are the kitchen. And lastly, the dispensa. Dispensa is this is where the food storage adjacent to the kitchen. And also, this is like a bahay kubo, but there are concrete. That is the Bahay na Bato. So, let's go to Ifugao Bale. What is Ifugao Bale? Ifugao Bale, the native Ifugao house, looks like an elevated pyramid with wooden walls and a ladder. The materials used were made out of timbers tied together without using nails. Despite the way an Ifugao house is built, it is proven withstand natural calamities like typhoons and earthquakes. Furthermore, the native house is a one-room house with an antique for storage. The Ifugao Bale or native house is said to be the first prefabricated house in the world, according to renowned anthropologist Otley Beyer. It has been subject of many scholarly articles, as it is considered to be the one of the most indigenous and nearly perfect architectural architectural contrast made by man. So, what is an Ifugao house made of? The Ifugao house is sturdily crafted of timber from amugawan trees, raised on four posts, which was buried 50 meters below the ground and locked with the stones. The four wooden posts that rest upon the pavement and support two wooden girders, which also support the three wooden transverse joists. The Ifugao Bale is constructed from hand-hewn timber, pruno, and cogon grass. These are the materials for doing a Ifugao Bale. The timber tree, the runo or kawayan, and the cogon grass. Cogon grass. So, what is the design and uses of Ifugao Bale? Even though the Ifugao native house has a simple design, you will not believe how artistic and useful it is for the locals. The attic serves as the primary storage of harvested rice. That's right, harvested rice. Because in the Ifugao, we can see there the Banawe rice terraces. That is the popular on the world. While the elevated one room is used for everything like one-stop shop. It's where they eat, sleep, and cook for food. Also, the one-room house is elevated and with a detachable ladder for a purpose. Whenever they are inside the house at night, they remove the ladder to prevent thieves going inside their house. So let's go to the last part, the Iwatan Houses. So what is this Iwatan Houses? Iwatan houses in Batanes are one of the authentic culture that tells everything about the Philippines. The Everton Houses is made primarily of limestone, wood, and thatch. It commonly consists of two structures, the house proper and the kitchen or storage area. The main house has the larger area and is usually made of limestone, wood, and thatch. The heavier materials, lime and stone, provide better shelter from the constant rain. The kitchen or storage area is usually made of wood and thatch. Compared to the bahay kubo and the bahay na bato, the Iwatan houses has significantly lower ceiling. Around 1.60 to 2 meters. 1.60 to 2 meters high only. And smaller door and window openings to keep the interiors warm. Plus, there are Iwatan houses that have an attic. Second, were the Iwatan houses made of? It is made of limestone, coral walls, and cogon grass as roof. So, when was the Iwatan houses built? History professor Jose Victor Jimenez said the Iwatan started using mud and stones in building the walls of the houses in 1794. So, what is Iwatan house called? The traditional house of the Iwatan is called the Raku. It is the main house that serves as living quarters. So guys, that's all. Thank you for the listening and God bless to all.